Right, welcome. Let's see. Let me see if the sound is on. So you should hear me and you should see me, and in a moment I'm going to switch over to the charts, because what we are going to talk about today is my daily trading routine, right? I mean, so what do I do to trade, right? What do I do to find the best stocks and options? And great, now my computer has the sound on. So yesterday we tried this, and yeah, wonder world of technology. It didn't work well. Right now it should work perfectly, so I have tested it. Let's get started. So you see, when I got started with trading many years ago, I mean, my first trade I did in 1989, and then in 2002 I quit my job at IBM and moved all the way from Munich in Germany to Austin, Texas. And what I realized in the beginning, that, oh my gosh, this trading thing was confusing as heck. Because if you think about it, see, when I started trading, and I don't know, it might be also confusing for you, but when I started trading, I didn't know, what should I trade? Should I trade stocks or options or Forex or futures? Or these days you can trade cryptocurrencies, penny stocks. So we'll talk about that, right? And then the question was, okay, how do I analyze these stocks, right? Or how do I analyze anything? Do I use candlesticks or indicators? So it was very confusing for me, and then it was also very overwhelming. And this is where, at some point, I was so confused with everything that was going on, different time frames, right? Should you trade on daily charts or intraday, day trading, and all this option stuff? Should you buy options or sell options? At some point I said, there must be a simpler way. And you see, this is something that I still do to date. Everything in life, I have a mantra. And here's what I want to do right now. So let's see if I switch this over. I was so confused with everything that was going on, different time frames, right? Should you trade on daily charts or intraday, day trading, and all this option stuff? Should you buy options or sell options? At some point I said, there must be a simpler way. And you see, this is something that I still do to date. Everything in life, I have a mantra. And here's what I want to do right now. So let's see if I switch this over. I was so confused with everything that was going on, different time frames, right? Should you trade on daily charts or intraday, day trading, and all this option stuff? Should you buy options or sell options? At some point I said, there must be a simpler way. And you see, this is something that I still do to date. Everything in life, I have a mantra. And here's what I want to do right now. So let's see if I switch this over. I was so confused with everything that was going on, different time. Bad sound. Scratch that. Okay, scratch that. We'll make it easier. We'll make it easier. We do differently. So no worries. No worries. Let me. It's really surprising, because we tested that yesterday, and we did, and everything worked fine. But of course, the minute we go live, it does not. Well, this is actually, it's very interesting. You will see that the same happens in the markets, right? No matter how well you prepare, the minute you start trading live, this is when things go wrong. No problem. So we have a backup plan. Let me just bring up a notepad here really quick, because this way I can show you a few things. Let's just do this. Okay, great. Here we go. No worries. So just takes a minute until I have set up everything here on the computer, but we will do this. Okay. Okay, so see, for me in life, this is my mantra. It can't be that complicated. There must be an easier way. As we do it right now, right? All this technology can't be that complicated. There must be an easier way. So let me share with you. I have set up everything here on the computer. How's this for sound? But we will do this. Okay. How is that? Can you now see what I'm typing here? Okay. So And can you hear me as well? Because that's,
see, for me,
what
in
this is all
live,
about. All right,
this
good.
is my mantra.
Seems that we resolved the sound issue.
That
So for those of you
there
who are
must
here
be an
live,
easier way.
sorry about this. For those
As
of
we
you
do
who are
it right
watching
now,
the recording,
right?
you
All
see we
this
got it
technology
fixed.
can't be that
No worries.
complicated. There
So
must be an
there must be an
easier
easier way. And you see,
So,
for me
Let me
personally,
share with you
I
my
have set up
screen.
everything here on the computer.
How's this?
How's for
do
sound?
things
Is
we will
to
do
break
this.
it down
Okay.
into parts.
How
of three.
is that?
I just want to keep an eye
Can you now
on the sound
see
here.
what I'm typing here?
Make sure that
Okay.
everything is good.
So,
and can you hear me as
Holy
well?
moly.
Because
So
that's,
are you saying
see,
that
for
as
me
soon
what
as
this is
I
all
live,
about? All right,
this
good.
is my
Seems that we
mantra.
resolved the
Can't
sound. Are you saying that as soon as I share my screen, you hear the double sound? That is unbelievable. So, got it. Okay. That is very interesting. We tested this yesterday and it was perfectly. And let me just see if there's other microphones that are open. No, just this one. Everything else is closed. Unbelievable. Okay. So, I see the Elray. Yeah, it's not working. I got this. Let me do the following. So, maybe plan C. Let's go to plan C, shall we? Oh, holy moly. I do believe I know what it could be. Let me try something. Just give me a second. Yeah, as soon as I share my screen, I got this. So I am trying to do something here right now. And hopefully, when I share my screen, you won't do it now. Okay, so, wow, the magic. So, let's try one more time. We got this. We got this fixed here. Let's see. All right. How about the... So now, is this working better? And I know that there's a quick lag, so there's probably a 15-second lag between when I ask you a question and then when I see what's happening. So I just want to make sure that I wait a second if the sound problem is now solved. Are you really telling me that I can type something on the screen and you hear the sound? That is awesome. Okay, good. We got it. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you do in life. It can't be that complicated. There must be an easier way. This is how I wake up in the morning, right? I mean, whatever I do, this is where I'm saying myself, it can't be that complicated. And you see, for me personally, the way to do it is to break down everything in, I call it in threes, right? So, because I believe that high level, we can focus on three things and then break it down. Now, let me give you an example of that here. So, as you know, my kids are both sailing, and so just now, today, we were fixing something on the boat. It's a beautiful day in Austin. Now, we'll get back to trading. I just want to show you how you can apply this to everything in life. So when it comes to sailing, there's three things that you need, obviously, right? First of all, you need water, you need wind, and you need a sailboat. Now, why do I start on such a high level? Because when it comes to trading, you'll see in a moment, it's the same thing. There's three things that you need if you want to trade, right? And we'll talk about the three things that you need. Now, then when you want to sail, again, there's another three things that you need to focus on when sailing. The first is sailing upwind, which means upwind. That's what it's supposed to do. Sailing against the wind. Then there is sailing downwind. Okay. And then there's sailing, what do you call it? Perpendicular to the wind. Okay. So sailing, they call it reaching. Anyhow. So let's go back to trading. With trading, it's the same thing. So when I was confused and overwhelmed, I asked myself, what are the three things that I need to master when it comes to trading? And here they are. So first, you need to define what you want to trade. And I'm going to talk about this in a moment. Number 2 is when to enter. And number 3 is when to exit. Okay. Now, underneath everything, then again, there's another 3 things. But you see, when you start breaking it down in units of 3, for me at least, it becomes easier. So let's talk about what to trade. Now, when it comes to trading, here are all the things that you can trade. You can trade stocks. You can trade options. You can trade, and again, I'm improvising here a little bit because what I did earlier did not really work. You can trade futures. You can trade Forex. You can trade cryptocurrencies. Yeah, like Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like this. You can trade penny stocks. So what should you trade? And so here's my recommendation. If anybody asks me, I'm new to trading and I want to get started, or even if they say, you know what, I have been trading for a while, but I'm not getting the results that I want. Here's what I say. I say in the beginning, focus on stocks and options, and I'm going to make this green. There we go. Once you master stock and options trading, then you can move on to futures. And I'm making this a little bit orange because I'm dead serious. Trading futures is like driving a race car. If you don't master driving really well, you should not get into a race car. So, and for me personally, stay away from Forex, cryptocurrencies, and penny stocks. And I did a video around this. Let me see, can I actually strike it through? I don't think I can. Doesn't really matter. So I did a video on this, and I don't want to go into much detail because honestly, I want to keep this video here to probably around 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like this. This is my goal. Anyhow, so this is where I focus on stocks and options. Now, when it comes to stocks and options, this is again what to trade, right? And so we need to look at this, and I want to slide this over here because I want to show you a charting software. Any charting software, doesn't really matter. So let me just see if I can quickly show you the full chart. And we'll talk about software because we'll talk about the 3 things that you need when trading here. So it seems there's a little bit of a delay here, and trust me, I had everything perfectly prepared for you, but then as we have seen, it didn't cooperate. So anyhow, when it comes to trading stocks, so there's again 3 different things that you can trade, right? You can go with mainstream stocks, like for example Netflix, right? This is where you see Netflix, and it's going up, it's going down, bouncing all over the place. Or you can talk about Tesla, right? So Tesla is another stock to trade, and you see it's also very erratic, going up and down like crazy. Now, what do we want to see? When trading stocks, we want to see that the stock is going from the lower left to the upper right, right? I mean, this is what we are actually looking for. And you see, mainstream stocks are being whipped around because there's constantly something in the news. I mean, just right now, the stock that was in the news just a few days ago was Kraft Heinz Ketchup, reported worse than expected earnings, was under SEC investigation. Boom, plummeting 27% in a day. Another stock, mainstream stock, CVS, got hammered last week, as you can see. Worse than expected earnings and plummeted from $70 to $62. So what should you trade? In a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how I find the stocks to trade. And these are stocks that very few people know about. Because that's one of the things. In the very beginning, I used to follow newsletters, right? And trading tips. There were where others told me, oh, you should buy this hot stock. And this never worked out for me. Okay, so but let's go back to this here, what to trade. And I'm going to show you how I find the right stocks to trade. But let's move on to step number 2 first. And then it'll be easier to go back to step number 1. Okay, so when to enter. Now, when it comes to entering, let's go back here, especially when we talk about mainstream stocks. So let's talk about Apple. It's one of the stocks that everybody was excited about last year. See, Apple. was what? The $1 trillion company. So this is where everybody said, my God, Apple, what can possibly go wrong? They will continue to go up, up, up. And it seemed like it for a while. So where do most people buy? Right here, when we are forming a top, right? When you hear about it on the news, when Matt Kramer is talking about it, or some other talking head. I mean, nothing against Kramer, but I've been following it a little bit, and it seems that whenever he recommends a stock, it is very close to the top, if you notice it. Anyhow, so has this ever happened to you that you bought a stock right here and then start plummeting down? Right? I mean, this is what happened to me in the very beginning of my trading career. So I wanted to find a way, how can I buy a stock before it takes off? Okay, that was the key thing. And this is why I like to use indicators. Because it seems that whenever somebody is hyping a stock in the news, I mean, why would they do it, right? Because the big guys want to dump it on you. And so in order for them to sell, they have to generate massive buying power. And this is why they will say, hey, this is a great stock to buy. Anyhow, so this is how I like to make a decision whether I want to buy or sell a stock. I do it on indicators. And I like to use 3 indicators. Let me switch back here first, and then I go to the charts. Okay, so based on indicators, and the 3 indicators that I like to use here are, I'm going to show this to you exactly, 3 indicators. I'm using the RSI, which is the relative strength index. I am using the stochastics, and I am using the MACD. Okay, now let me show you exactly what this looks like. So these are the 3 indicators, and again, I had it nicely, beautifully planned, very colorful. Not that colorful. Let's make them green. Here we go. Okay, so I'm plotting them right underneath the chart. And here's what I want to see. So here you see the RSI. Here you see the stochastics. And in the very bottom, you see the MACD. So here's what I like to do. I want to see that all 3 indicators are true, meaning the RSI above 50. This is indicating that now the stock is more likely to continue to go up. Now, the second one is stochastics, and also I want to see that stochastics are above 50, meaning that the stock is now more likely to go up. And I want to see that the MACD, which is the purple line, is above the orange line. Now, as you can see right now here, it's difficult to see for Apple. Let's just pull up any other stock. Let's just pull up a stock. Let's just say Netflix. Why not? So let's take a look at Netflix right now. So what do you see? Right now, Netflix here. It's a little bit tricky to see. I wanted to find one where it's easier to see first, and then I'm going to show you how I made it easier for me to even see whether whether stock is more likely to go up, down, or sideways. Do you have a stock that you would like me to take a look at? Just right now in the comments, in the chat line, put a stock in there, and then I will pull it up and take a look at it. We can also take a look at the S&P 500 right now. See, the purple line is above the orange line. A little bit tricky to see. You might have to zoom in or go to full screen. The stochastics is very well above 50, and RSI is above 50, and this is telling me that this stock is more likely to go up. Now, here is what exactly I'm looking for. Okay, let me just, there's a few of you that are saying, okay, AUY, Yamaha Gold. Okay, there we go. So let's take a look at this. See here right now, the RSI is dipping below 50. So this is indicating that the stock might go down. Yeah, but we see that stochastics is above 50, and we see that the purple line is below the orange line. So 2 of these are saying it's going down. One of them says it's going up. So right now, undecision. So I wouldn't trade it. However, this is what you want to see. See, want to go back to when you see for the first time that all 3 indicators are true. So right here, see if you go to AUY, don't know what they are, but Yamana Gold, doesn't really matter. We look at some others here. See, the first time when all three indicators are true, RSI is above 50, stochastics above 50, and the purple line is above the orange line, that's when you want to buy. So here in this case, this was at 259. 259, and then as you can see, the stock went all the way up here to 280. Oscar, I see Hog. I love Hog, Harley Davidson. I have one. I have a Road King Classic. So right now, what do you see? The RSI is dipping below 50, right? So this is one. Stochastics is above 50, but here purple line is close to the orange line. So this is just going sideways, as we can clearly see. So how exactly do I find the stocks that are ready to go up? So this is where at some point, see, for me, it was so tricky to see here, is it above 50 or below 50? I don't know about you. I mean, I'm turning 50 this year, so I'm getting older, and it seems that my eyes are getting worse as we're getting older. At least for me, that is true. So this is why I wanted to make it easy for me. And this is where, at some point, I programmed this software, okay, that makes it easy. For example, if I type in Hog, so it's the same deal here. So we have these indicators. So let me just get rid of these trades here. And we have the indicators, right? And you see, this is where right now it's a little bit easier for me to see when the stochastics is above 50, it is colored in green here. So this way I don't have to squint, yeah, and see the line here. When the RSI is above 50, the RSI is plotted in green. And when the MACD is above its signal line, it's green. So this is where right now you see that all three indicators saying that Hog, Harley Davidson, is more likely to go up. And this is why I'm plotting the bars in green here. Now, here's the really cool thing. Since I'm plotting now the bars in green when all three indicators are true, this is why I don't need to display the indicators anymore, which makes it really, really easy, because this way I save a bunch of time. And you see, whenever a stock is more likely to go up, everything is plotted in green. When it is more likely to go down, everything is plotted in red. And when it is black, it means that it is more likely to go sideways. Let's see. Neil is asking about Intel, INTC. Okay. See, having these indicators makes it really easy for me to see exactly what I should do with the stock, whether I should rather buy it, sell it, or hold it. So here right now, INTC, Intel, see, we have in green bars, meaning that this was the first day where all three indicators were true, and this was a buy. So this, you would buy it at around 50, it moved up to 53, so that's what, like 8% in a matter of days. So we come back to this here in a moment, but this is when to enter. And again, we all break it down into three, so I like to use three indicators. So let me just get some feedback. For those of you who are live, is this making sense so far? Right? Is this easy enough? Is this something that you can do too? Right? And I just want to see, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll stay on after I run briefly through it, what I do. I'll stay on and answer all of your questions. Okay, good. So RSI, stochastics, MACD, these are the three indicators. Now, when it comes to when to exit, it's just moving on. Step number 3. When to exit, there's two things that you need to know. You want to have a stop loss, and this stop loss is for when the trade goes against you. If it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And also, for me personally, I like to have a profit target, meaning that as soon as the stock goes in the right direction, I know when to take money off the table. Now, we talked about three things. The third thing here is a change of direction. And what does this mean? It basically means as soon as we see black bars, right? Because then we are no longer going up or going down. So we have a stop loss, which is red. It basically means that when the trade is going against us, which happens, we have a profit target, and we'll make this green. This if the trade goes in the right direction, and then we have the change of direction. So now let me go back to an important concept here. You gotta limit your losses. This is one thing that I really learned. Let's talk about Apple again. Let's say that Apple, you bought Apple when it was getting close to the high here. So let's say you have been watching it, and Apple is now in the news. It's the $1 trillion company, and you're buying Apple right here when it is around 220, right? You see this on the chart. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. And now for the next few days, it continues to go up a little bit, but then it starts dropping. Okay, and now it goes from 220 to $200. What do? Right? I mean, the logical thing is to get out. However, here's what I did in the very beginning. In the very beginning of my trading career, when I was still losing money, here's what I did. I now looked at Apple and said, oh, it's going down, but there's probably a reason. This is a normal retracement, right? And I started rationalizing this and say, oh, well, Apple, everybody still loves iPhones and wants to see what's going on there, right? And it loves Macs, and it's a great company. It will continue to go up. And then you see it keeps going down. What now, right? I mean, this is where right now you say, oh, dear Lord, okay, now I'm already down 10% on this trade because I entered around 220 and we're now down at 191. So more than 15%. Well, I can't sell now. It has to come back, right? And then you see it keeps going down, down, down. It goes now to 170. And now you're down 25% on the stock. What do you do now, right? I mean, this is when every trader becomes religious and say, please make this turn around, and I promise the next time I get out in time. And usually it gets worse from there. So you know the story of Apple moved all the way from 220 to 150. Did it even get lower? No, I think 150 was kind of the low there. But if you think about it, there's a loss of 30%. Facebook and all our other friends are very, very similar. I mean, look at this. Went from 220 to 130. So going back to, you gotta have a stop loss. And here's what I like to use as a stop loss, okay? Never risk more than 2% of your account on any given trade. So this is a rule of thumb for me, how to limit your losses. Never risk more than 2% of your account on any given trade. Now, for the profit target, here's the important thing. For me, the profit target has to be larger than your stop loss. And I want to see at least 1 to 2. What does this mean? For every $100 that you risk, I want to see that I can make at least $200, right? Because if you think about it, if you can make $200 on your winning trades and you lose $100 on your losing trades, you could make money even if you're wrong half of the time. Are you getting this? Because this is important. Let me just quickly show this to you. Okay, so let me show this to you. Let's say your stop loss, okay, when you lose, you're losing $100. And when you win, you make $200. Now let's say that you have 10 trades, okay? Out of these 10 trades, you have 5 losing trades. What happens on the 5 losing trades? You lose 5 times $100. 5 times $100 means that you're losing $500. But now you have 5 winning trades. Okay, and on these 5 winning trades, you're winning 5 times $200 means $1,000. How much do you have left after 10 trades? Math, right? You still have $500 left, even though half of your trades have been losing trades, because you limit your losses to $100, and then on the winning trades, you make more money on the winning trades than you lose on the losing trades. And isn't that fascinating? This is how you still make money even if half of your trades are losing trades. Okay, so very important. You gotta have a profit target that is larger than your stop loss. Okay, so how do we tie it all together? So this is just the foundation so that you know what I do when I'm trading, okay? So I want to find stocks that are right now showing me that all these three indicators are true, okay? And there's one thing that I can do is I could go through every single stock that comes to mind, right? I could check, let's see, Tesla right now. Is this a good buy? Is this a good buy? Bye-bye. Is this a good stock to buy? And we see right now, no. I mean, it seems to point down, right? RSI is going down, stochastics are going down, MACD is going down. Let's try to find another. And you see, by doing this, it would drive me crazy. And so this is why I had this software developed for me, and I call it the PowerX Analyzer, because what this does is it automatically finds the stocks right now. It finds the stocks right now that have a buy or a sell signal. So this is where you have a scanner. For example, AAC right now is a stock that has a buy signal, where all three indicators are true for the very first time. AAMC is another one right here. You get the idea. Now, here's one important thing. Let's go back to this. So let's quickly talk about what you need. Okay, the three things you need to trade. Okay, because I told you everything. Remember the sailboat example? When sailing, what do you need, right? You need wind, water, and a sailboat. So here, the three things that you need when trading. First of all, you need to have a trading strategy, right? So here is my trading strategy. My trading strategy is I want to enter when all these three indicators are true. The first day they are true, I limit my losses to 2% of my account on any given trade, and I have a profit target that is at least twice as big as my loss, right? So this is a very, very simple trading strategy, and you know what? The cool thing is about trading, simple usually is better. Okay, so I just see, yeah, you're right. I am blocking. There we go. How's that? Thank you, Wemma. I realized I was blocking the font. There we go. Much better, huh? Okay, so the three things you need to trade. First of all, you need to have a strategy. Now, second, for my type of strategy, I do need a charting software. I do need charts. Why? Because I need to be able to plot the indicators, right? So this depends on my trading strategy. So I do need a charting software. And step number three, of course, you do need a broker, right? I mean, you do need a broker so that you can place the trades, right? Because you cannot directly go to Apple and say, hey, give me some of your stock. It's going through the exchange. And in order to do this, you need to have a broker. So when it comes to a charting software, see, the trading strategy I already talked about. So you already know my trading strategy. Very simple, very straightforward. And trust me, once I simplified my trading, things became much, much easier. Broker, we can talk about this a little bit later, but let's talk about a charting software. So for a charting software, so there's three things that a charting software needs to do for me. And this is why I had this charting software program for me. And because I couldn't find a charting software that does the following three things for me. First of all, it has to clearly tell me when to enter and when to exit. Okay? So I have my rules. I have my trading strategy. So I don't want to squint my eyes and see what is going on here. I want the software to tell me, based on the rules that I have defined for myself, when exactly do I enter, okay, and when do I exit? Because three things, right? What to trade, when to enter, and when to exit. So I definitely want my software to tell me when to enter and when to exit. Now, the second thing, I want the software to tell me what to trade. I want the software to find the best stocks for me, because honestly, I am not that great in picking stocks myself, but the software is, right? So I'm relying more on the software to show me the best stocks to trade. And number 3, I want to, for my confidence, right? So it's important. When trading, it's all about confidence, right? You want to make sure that you are placing the trade with confidence. And for my confidence, I wanted to know the past performance of the stock. If I had traded the stock with my simple rules according to the strategy, what would I have made, right? So what can I expect from this? And so let's go back to the software and let's talk about the 3 things. Now, the software, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger to make it easier for you to see. It tells me exactly up here when to buy and also when to sell. It has the profit target and stop loss here. Again, it's based on the rules that I've just very briefly explained to you, because my goal is here to keep this video short, because you see, you might have read it somewhere. My claim to fame is that I can teach anybody how to trade in 60 minutes or less. You believe me now? Because I'm doing it in a very simple way. So yes, absolutely, I see exactly when to enter and when to exit. So check, number 1. Number 2, what do we say? I want the software to show me what to trade. We're going to talk about this in a moment. I just want to jump over to confidence and the past performance. So this is where the software says, you know what? If I had traded this particular stock, AAC, that I just blindly picked, with these rules that I have, here's what I could have expected. On a $10,000 account, if I had taken the trades, I would have made $8,261, and this is within a year. So this is an 82.6% RI, right? So that's pretty cool. Think about it. If you invest $1,000 and within a year can make $800 on it, that's good. That's 80%. I mean, think about it. The markets are not making that much. And most people would be happy with 20 to 25%. Here, 82%, that is pretty good. But you see, there's a bunch of stocks right here that all have buy and sell signals. So here's what I like to do. This is where we go to the second step that we had here, right? What to trade, okay? So I like this the software to find the best stocks for me based on criteria that I enter, based on the closing price, based on how much money I want to make in a year, based on the profit factor, the winning percentage, and so on. So let's just do this. When I run the software every day, it'll show me the stocks that are there to trade. So that's what I do. Actually, let's go to my trading routine, because after all, this is how I titled it. Okay, so my trading routine. Here's what I do. Number 1, I run the scanner. Okay, I let the software show me the best stocks to trade. Number 2, not only do I run the scanner, then I evaluate the trade and see, hey, is this making sense for me? Do I like this trade? And I'm going to show you how to do this. At step number 3, I place the trade with the broker. Is that easy enough? Again, everything, and this is what I really firmly believe, everything can be broken down in 3 separate steps, right? In 3 things that you need to master. So I run the scanner, and now out of all the 15,000 stocks that are out there, this is the one stock that right now I will trade tomorrow. Absolutely, I will place the trade today. It's Crocs. Interesting enough, right? I mean, did you know that Crocs right now is a good company to buy? Might not be for you, but it is for me, according to my rules that I've been using for I don't know how many years, 10, 12 years probably, maybe even 13 years. Okay, so right now, and again, what do I want a charting software to do? 3 things. What to trade? Check, right? So the software has found Crocs for me. So every day it finds between 2 and 8 trades. So right now, since I'm doing it live here for you, it found 1 stock, and it is Crocs. Tell me when to enter. Look at this. I'm buying it when Crocs go up to $28.49. Very easy, right? It also tells me the position size and then the profit target. So what does it mean? It means that if everything goes right, I expect Crocs to go up to $35, up to here. I'm asking you, is this realistic? Look at the chart. Is this realistic that Crocs could go from $28 to $35? I believe so. Once it reaches $35.89, I'm getting out. Yeah? And this is how I'm making $7.40 per share that is traded. Now, on the other hand, if I'm entering at $28.49 and it goes down to $27.75, I'm getting out. So look at this. I'm risking 74 cents trying to make $7.40. How do you like this? How do you like risking $100 trying to make $1,000? I like that a lot. I don't know about you, but that definitely fits my criteria here. I love that a lot. Okay, so also now that I know exactly what to do, let's go back to this. Confidence. So check. Okay. I had a nice check mark that I wanted to place there. Oh well. All the good preparations, and then we had the challenge with the sound. Doesn't matter. And the past performance. So you see, you might have never traded this strategy before. You might have never traded Crocs before. But when you see that if you had traded Crocs for the past year, following this strategy, you would have made $7,000 based on a $10,000 account. Would you be more confident placing this trade if you knew that you had 17 trades, 8 of them were winning trades, 9 of them were losing trades? So it doesn't matter, right? Half of the trades are losing trades, but if you make 10 times as much money on your winning trades than you lose on your losing trades, you'll be fine, right? So anyhow, you can now see this. Sometimes for me, I look at the trading report and see, okay, what exactly has happened over the past year. I knew exactly where I should have entered, where I should have exited, how much in position size I should have traded, my entry price, my profit, my stop loss, my exit price, and the results. And you see, this is where I get this past performance report. Okay, so this is what I do. And all I do is every day, as you can see, it only takes 15 minutes. That's a beautiful thing. Only takes 15 minutes a day to do this, because all I do is, all right, I'm running the scanner, I evaluate the trade, and now it's one trade. Sometimes it is 2, 3, 4 trades, right? Usually it's anywhere between 2 and 8 trades every day. And then I just look at the past performance where I evaluate the trade, if it makes sense to me, and then I place the trade. That's pretty much it, okay? All right, so this is my trading routine, and this is why I had this software programmed for me to make my life easier as a trader. Because I believe that the trading can be challenging enough. So I want to make it as easy as possible for myself. And this is what I do. Now I see that there's a few questions, so I want to take these questions here. But basically, in a nutshell, let's just quickly recap. What have you learned thus far? When it comes to trading, there's 3 things that you need to master. Number 1, what to trade. Number 2, when to enter. And number 3, when to exit. Now, what to trade we talked about. I highly recommend that you use stocks and options. Don't use penny stocks or cryptocurrencies. And I can show you why here in just a moment. But let's just recap here. When to enter, I like to trade what I see, not what I think, right? I mean, this is for me important, because whatever I think doesn't really matter to me. So I'm often wrong, trust me on this one. So I trade what I see, not what I think, and I base it on the 3 indicators. When to exit, I use a stop loss. I never risk more than 2% of my account on any given trade. And I use a profit target where I want to make at least $2 for every dollar that I risk. Now, as you've seen in our example, Crocs, I'm trying to make $10 for every dollar that I risk, and I like that a lot. The three things that you need to trade is you got to have a strategy, and I've given you a strategy. You need to have a charting software, and for my trading strategy, the charting software has to support indicators, and this is where at some point I just chose to program my own charting software, and this is what I've been using for several years now. And you need to have a broker. Now, what does the charting software need to do? I mean, it's 2019. Charting software can be so powerful, as you have just seen. So the charting software should tell me exactly when to enter and when to exit. It should tell me exactly what to trade, and it should tell me what would have this stock, how much money could I have made on this stock if I had traded it over the past year with with these simple rules. Now this is the past performance, and past performance is not indicative of future performance. But for me, if I see that this stock, let's go back here. So that this stock here has generated over the past year 17 trades, 8 of them are winning trades, 9 of them are losing trades, right? And that on a $10,000 account, it would have made $7,392. I'm very confident that the next trade or two will be pretty good trades. Yeah, you see, this is not all over the place. Let's compare this to something like a Tesla. Look at Tesla. I mean, geez, yeah, how can anybody make money trading something like this? See, stocks that I like to trade are CRC, PN, or whatever I find in the scanner here. Yeah, like Crocs, for example. All right, hope this helps. And this is basically how I trade. All right, so let's see. I do have quite a few questions here that I want to answer for those of you who are here live. So Leon is asking, what about earnings? You see, interesting. So earnings, there are some stocks that react very heavily to earnings and others do not. So let's talk about Crocs, right? Actually, let's start with Tesla. Tesla is in the news all the time. So this is why Tesla is getting whipped around like crazy. Yeah, Elon Musk is tweeting something or not tweeting something, right? And he's getting in trouble with the SEC or does not get in trouble. Consumer Reports recently dropped the rating for the Model 3. And this is what moves the stock. Now, something like CRC, I mean, when they report earnings, who is really paying attention to this? See, it's a great question, Leon, and I like to trade stocks that nobody else trades. Stocks that nobody else cares about. PN. If PN reports earnings, who pays attention to this? Nobody, because everybody is so busy watching CVS, Kraft Heinz Ketchup, Berkshire Hathaway, which is reporting next week, right? Warren Buffett's company, Apple, Tesla, Facebook, Netflix, Intel, Nvidia. Everybody's busy watching these. They're not paying attention to the stocks that I find with my scanner. So it's a great question, but I'm not too concerned about earnings here. Okay, Danny is asking, can you tell us what charting software you're using in your example? Is it your own software or any software? So great question. Let me switch back here. In order to display indicators, you can use any software, right? I mean, just in order to display the indicators, this is what any software can do. However, for me, that's not good enough because I want the software to tell me exactly when to enter. Let's go back to Crocs here. Exactly when to enter. I want the software to tell me exactly when to exit, right? Because I want to take the guesswork out of it. Whenever I had the guesswork in there, they said, oh, should I take profits right now or should I let it run? This is when trades ended up horribly. I don't know about you, but it seems that I never timed the exit right. So I know my exits before I even enter the trades. So that's what I want the software to do. And last but not least is, of course, the past performance. And this is where other charting software packages that I tried fell flat. This is why I developed my own software. It's called the PowerX Analyzer. Okay, so let's see. Magic. Okay, how do we know what to set the rules at that generate the output? Okay, that's a great question. You see, I'm using a standard here where you can reset to default. What I like to look for is I want to find stocks that have at least an ROI of 60%, meaning that if I would have traded this stock according to the rules here, I would have made at least 60% in a year, right? And you see, this is where it found Crocs that made 73%. I like to trade stocks between $5 and $250. I like to see a profit factor of 3, risk reward ratio of at least 2. We talked about it, right? Risk $100 trying to make $200. I want to see that I had a minimum number of 12 trades, so that I had 1 trade a month at least. And I want to see at least a 40% winning percentage. So I want to see that at least 4 out of 10 trades are winning trades. So these are the default settings that I use, and you can always click on reset to default and it'll show you what I use, and this brings all of this up. Okay, so magic, this is, let's see, how do you set the rules that generate the scanner output? Yeah, all right, good. Denny, PowerX is your own software? Yeah, it's my own software. And again, here's why. Over the years, I've tried so many software packages. I mean, I've been trading since 1989. I've tried TradeStation, TC2000, NinjaTrader. Let me actually jump in here. Okay, so NinjaTrader, TradeStation, Thinkorswim, Trade Navigator. I mean, you name a software, eSignal, MetaTrader, MetaStock, name a software, I've tried it. And none of these software have actually produced what I wanted. And this is where at some point I decided to program my own software. And for those of you who are interested, I'll be happy to show you how to get your hands on the software. If there's something that you're interested in, let me know. And I can talk more about this. If you think that this is a cool software and that this can help you in your trading. Okay, Gary is asking, what about options? Great question. I'll come back to this in just a moment. Let me just make sure that I answered the stock questions, right, Gary? And I'm coming back to options. Problem with Tesla is the wireless charge. You see, that's the point. Everybody has an opinion on Tesla. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that this is their problem or not. But everybody has an opinion on Tesla, and this is why it's whipsawing around. Now, how many of you have an opinion on Crocs or CRC or PEN or LCC? You don't even know what these guys are doing. And that's a beautiful thing. Since nobody knows about it, nobody has an opinion on this. Okay, good. Please share how you trade futures. Same 3 indicators when trading futures. And again, this is where we go back to what I said earlier. Master stocks and options trading. Then you can move on to futures. And for futures, I basically just use the RSI and the MACD. So I don't use the stochastics and futures. Day trading, it's a completely different animal. But yes, same principle here. Same principle here. Okay. So Hakim is asking, why not buy at the reversal confirmation? Why wait until the indicators are above the 50 line? Hakim, you can do whatever you want. I want to share with you what works for me. And I have tried this, trust me. I have tried whenever it turned around and it didn't work out for me. Because I know that these indicators are oscillators. I mean, come on, I can give you a lecture for days about indicators. I know that these indicators are oscillators. I know that the stochastic supposedly, when it's above 80, it's supposed to be overbought. And when it is below 20, it's supposed to be oversold. But I tried this. It did not work for me. Now, if it works for you, good for you, right? So for me, it works best when we cross the 50 line. This is what I've been doing for many, many years. And I'm most comfortable with this. And again, this is where you see the past performance, right? You've seen how beautifully it works. So keep it easy. Good. All right. Connie, this has been very informative. Thank you. Absolutely. And Connie, you know all this already, right? Okay. Danny, thanks for your answer. Okay. And I go back to the options here in just a moment. Dylan is saying, or am I asking for the impossible? Dylan, it's probably for your question. Tesla cars can charge 24/7 while driving. Will bull? I don't know. Are you asking for the impossible? Ask Elon Musk. He might know. Zach, Is the Jack is asking, is this going to work for the Canadian market? Absolutely, because you see, every single stock does three things. What does a stock do? Go up, go down, go sideways. I have used this to trade stocks in Singapore. I have no clue about companies in Singapore, but I'm using the exact same principles here because the principles are universal. So it doesn't matter whether it's US stocks, Canadian stocks, European stocks, Australian stocks, New Zealand stocks, Indian stocks, Chinese stocks. It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, drop me anywhere in the world and I will use these principles to trade the stocks in whatever country I am. Okay, good. So for stochastics, does it matter which color the line has to be above? I'm using the slow stochastics, right? So for those of you who are into the programming stuff, it's slow stochastics. Okay, good. So let's talk about options. Let me go back here and see who had the question about options. Gary. There we go. Okay, Gary, what about options? So here's the cool thing. Let me go back to the software so that I can illustrate it to you. In order to trade options, you need to know what a stock is doing, right? Because if a stock is going up, you're buying calls. If a stock is going down, you're buying puts, okay? Don't do anything crazy. Sure, you can trade bull spreads and bear spreads and butterflies and iron condors and broken wing butterflies, and I don't care. I like to keep it easy. So when the stock is going up, I like to buy a call. When the stock is going down, I like to buy a put. Now, this is where the software also helps me because of all the options available. It shows me the very best options to trade for this particular stock. So here I have two choices. And again, for those of you who are trading options, this might be super helpful. For those of you who are not trading options yet, start with stocks. But this, I believe, is super helpful. At least for me when I'm trading. I have coffee. So you have two choices. I can either trade a conservative option, which would be a call with a strike of 25 and 55 days to expiration. I would buy it for $4.84 or less. And the idea is that I'm risking $1.70 trying to make $6.05. Again, what do I want the software to do, right? I want a software, no matter what I trade, I want a software tell me when to enter and when to exit. Whether I trade stocks or options, right? What to trade, it tells me exactly. I can either trade the 25 call or the 28 call. Out of the best expiration dates, 55 days to expiration for this particular strategy is best. Why? Because you see it here on the right-hand side. On average, I expect to be in this trade for 15 days. The longest ever was 36 days. That was the longest trade that I ever had with this. So for Crocs here, this means if I have 55 days to expiration, I should be good, right? So this gives me an entry price. So enter at this or better. And it also tells me if this stock goes up to $35, right? We talked about that. Then this option should be worth $10.89 and I make $6.05 risking this. Okay, don't want to confuse you, but it's a great question. What about options? Same deal, right? I mean, we always want to go back to tell me when to enter, when to exit, tell me what to trade, and tell me what would have happened if I had used this strategy in the past. And this is what the software does. Very easy, very straightforward. Okay, so, okay, Oleg is asking, going back to options, did you try to straddle options on earnings day to trade volatility? Trust me, I've been trading for so long, I have traded everything. It sounds like a great idea. Didn't work for me. Does it work for others? Probably. Didn't work for me. So I like to trade directional options. If I see that a stock is going up, I'm buying. And if I see that a stock is going down, I'm selling, right? So if it's going up, I'm buying a call. If it is going down, I'm buying a put. So anyhow, Alberto says, sorry I'm late. Great to see you from Argentina. Hey, to Argentina. Argentina is one of the countries that has a fantastic sailing program. So I'm pretty sure that one of these days I'll be there with my kids. I know that Argentina, you have fantastic laser sailors. I don't know if you're in sailing at all. And of course, coming from Germany, so I know about your soccer. So anyhow, we're getting off track here, talking about soccer and sailing here. Okay, good. Denny said, interested in options too. Waiting for your words about options. Okay, good. So we talked about options, and if there are any other questions, let me know. Rich saying, if we miss the first day the indicators show the buy signal, do we still buy or wait for the next? You see, Rich, great question. Here's my rule. If I miss a trade, I don't chase the market. I've tried it. Trust me, I've tried to chase the market. What happens? As soon as I caught up with the market, it started turning around. I'm using this scanner every day. We have 15,000 stocks and ETFs that are being traded in the United States. So this is where I say, you know what, if I miss the trade today, I'll wait for the next trade tomorrow. I'm running the scanner again tomorrow. Completely new trades will come up. Maybe Crocs comes up again. If not, no worries. Okay, so if I miss it, I'm not. It's like missing a bus, right? I mean, why do you want to chase a bus? It's so interesting. I travel a lot, right? And when you travel in airports, you always have these shuttles, right? Where they get you from one terminal to another. And usually they are, 2 minutes or 3 minutes apart. I see people when they are still on the escalator, escalator, right? And see, it might take off, who are sprinting, falling over other people, trying to catch it just to see that it's closing right before their nose. I'd rather wait for the next one. It'll come. Same here. The next trade is coming along. Anyhow, so great question here from Rich. Okay, good. Why not Forex? Okay, that's probably a bit too long. I'll make another video of why I don't trade Forex. Long story short, I don't like the spread in Forex, right? But I don't want to get into this right now. I want to keep it easy. I have tried Forex, and I believe that you can make money in Forex if you're really, really, really good in trading. I know really, 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 really good traders who are trading Forex, but you see, it's like going to Vegas. You're playing against the house. Can you make money trading against the house? If you're really, really good, yeah. Most people cannot. So this is why I personally prefer stocks and options. All right, so I think we handled all the questions. Jorge, good afternoon from Guatemala, Central American. Okay, Central America. Awesome advice. Glad that it was helpful. All right. Well, hope this helps. Thanks for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. I hope this was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up and share it with anybody who might like it. The more likes I get on this, the more I'm encouraged to spend another hour with you if you want, sharing some more trading tips and strategies. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel here. So you might have seen it. There's this little subscribe, and next to the subscribe, there's a little bell. Hit the bell button, because this way you're getting informed whenever I'm going live or post another video. Right now on this channel, there's more than 300 videos. Can you believe it? Just the other day, I saw 302 videos that I've already posted here. So go crazy. And if you want to know why I don't trade penny stocks, for example, you'll find a video for this. If you want to know more about these 3 indicators, you'll find a video for this. If you want to know more about the 3 things that you need for trading, there's a video for this. So you'll see, you can knock yourself out for the rest of the day and the evening and enjoy watching these videos. Okay. So hope this helps. And I see that there's a few questions from you. How do you get your software? Can you buy it or download it? I will put a link up here or shoot you guys an email, because I obviously see your names here. So where you can get your hand on the software. Does that sound fair? That sound good? So I'll shoot this over to you because I want to tell you honestly, thus far, I've only made this software available for those of you who attended a boot camp, and here's why. I noticed that if I give the software to somebody and you don't know how to use it, you might still lose money with trading, right? Fair enough. I mean, you need to know how to use it. So this is why we're doing boot camps all over the US. It's a one-day boot camp. That boot camp is free, and it's usually from 10 to 4, 10 to 5. And I want to make sure that you have everything down, that you know these principles. Right now, I ran through it rather quickly, okay? So, and I wanted to make sure that you know the exact strategy that I use. I want you to understand how I limit my losses. I want you to understand how I calculate my position size before I give you the software. So this is why right now you won't find it anywhere available. Most likely because, again, you had to attend a boot camp that was free. But it's like, think about it this way. A few years ago, I bought a Harley Davidson. Now, in order to ride it, I had to take some safety lessons, which I think was really beneficial. And consider this this way. The Harley Davidson dealership provided these safety lessons for me. And I think it was like 3 or 4 days. And I took it because this way I felt much more safe and secure riding the Harley. And it's the same way. So I want to make sure that before you get the software, you know exactly what you're getting into. I think now you have a good idea. So this is why I will see how I can make it available for those of you who are interested in this. And yes, it is available for purchase price. So you have to purchase it, but it's a really small investment and very affordable for everybody. I'll shoot you a link and I'll find a way to make this happen. Okay, good. All right, fantastic. You are awesome. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon. Sorry about the sound in the very beginning, but I think we figured it out, right? So thanks for hanging in there. We figured it out. We made it happen, and we had, wow, can you believe time is flying when you're having fun? We spent a whole hour together. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.